Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We've got the white pieces here against the 1781 from Germany. The 10-minute flat once again. And we'll play a little gambit here. The Portsmouth gambit, as I'm sure you all know from my videos. The 10-minute flat, we have to go fast. We have d6 as a move here. Now, I'm not particularly familiar with d6. I feel like we can just play a d5, I think, and go after this pawn. They've got no bishop support. They would have to fianchetto, which is fine. It's not a terrible idea for them. They're threatening to win the knight, I guess. Not even win the knight. We'll take. Sure. Potentially even go after a3. Get the bishop out early. It's not a horrible idea. Not a horrible idea. They decide to go e6. Now we throw in the check here, I think is important. And then we could potentially even take the pawn, which would be wild. I don't know if that would even work. Bishop takes, pawn takes, check, king takes, queen h5. Gosh, king back, queen check, queen blocks. Takes bishop. Yeah, I think we can actually do that. That's wild. That's really, really wild. We'll try it. See how it goes. I don't think it works. There's no way this works. I mean, worst case, we get like 2 pawns. Maybe 1 pawn. I guess 1 pawn would be the worst case. They go for that. Now, we can still go here because the rook's unguarded. Now we're forking the rook and the bishop. So we're all good here. We're all good here. We get the oh, actually. Bishop there. Ooh, you cheeky person. You go for that. Wild. I like it. We'll take the rook. Sure, why not? We'll take the rook. And then knight there. e5. Oh, it doesn't work. No, we shouldn't have taken the rook. Knight there wins. No, but then we go bishop. What? No, we can't go bishop there. Oh, we shouldn't have taken the rook. Yikes. Yikes. Potentially we could go like a bishop d2. I'm not quite sure. I don't think we're winning this one, folks. Unfortunately, I don't think we're winning this one. I think knight f6 just wins the game. Oh, they go for that. Actually, no, it didn't, because after knight f6, bishop there, the rook's hanging. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is crazy. And we go there to hold the pawn. Castle as quick as we can. And we're actually up material, which is wild. Oh my gosh. What? How is this working? Yeah, we go there. We could potentially... Oh, we can't even castle. Ooh, we can't even castle. That's a problem. We're going to have to play an f3 then. I don't want to have to do that. Didn't want to have to do that. This bishop's been really annoying. We have to go king f2. We've still got bishop d2 after pawn takes. Bishop d2 anyway is a good move if we ever get the chance. And we need to get these rooks in the game. Once we get these rooks in the game, we should be good. Question mark. Should be good. Famous last words, as per usual. I still think bishop d2 is our next move. Still think it's our next move. Knight takes is check, though. No, knight takes, yeah, check. And then we take the knight. Let them take the rook. Bishop d2. What? This is wild. I wish I had way more time to think about this, but 10 minutes is not enough. Oh my gosh. I love it. I mean, the Portsmouth Gambit is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. It's one of my favourites. We do actually have 8 minutes, so we have a bit of time. They are thinking, though. No, we don't throw in the check because knight moves back with discovered check. That's why. So we just have to take it. Give them the rook, yeah. We could throw in... No, that doesn't work. We'll go bishop d2. Take the pawn. We also have queen h7 check if we need it. If the bishop goes to c3, queen h7 check is quite nice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on now. Behave. Behave. What? Can't work. There is no world in which that works. There is no world in which that works. What? Queen takes pawn there. Check. There. Resigns. What? I was so confused by that. What? I don't even know. Resigns. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. What is this? Because this is going to be brutal. Black was winning. Black was winning. Wow. We were never on top there. Absolutely wild. So this is the Portsmouth Gambit, if you don't know. I feel like we only played for like 5 minutes there. Wow. So, Portsmouth Gambit. E4, C5, going into the Sicilian. Knight F3, and it only works after knight C6. If they do anything else, it doesn't quite work because you don't have the knight moving off the checking square, basically. That's the whole point. If you go straight away, this is called the Wing Gambit. I don't know much about the Wing Gambit. Apparently, it's pretty solid. But this is different. This is the Portsmouth Gambit. Super rare. You will not find anyone who knows this. They can take with either the pawn or the knight in this situation. Both are fine, and sometimes they can transpose into the main line. The main line is, in fact, d takes there, queen takes, and you actually throw in a c4. After takes en passant, knight there, queen a5, and this transposes from each way. The main move here, I think, is an e6, sorry. Although you can pretty much do anything you want, I think. If they decide to... yes, sorry, here the move is rook b1. I think the computer move is bishop d2. Rook d1's a very cool variation, though. Sacrificing a knight out the opening. Sacrificing a knight out the opening. If they take, it's really, really not good for them. Some very trappy lines, somewhat like this. Anyway, queen takes there, king takes, throw in that, something like this. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Anyway, that's not what they played. They played this d6 sideline, which is fine, and we did the right thing playing d5. I think when you're playing like a gambit, it's important to get space, important to get development. So it's always a good idea. Taking's fine. A3 is apparently a move as well. Not in this situation, though. After they've done this trade, A3 no longer works. And apparently you just play slow. You're down a pawn. I guess this is slightly weak. They're going to have to... In fact, they were going to have a very hard time looking after that pawn. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, we played A3. And then E6. E6 looks okay. I think it's unnecessary. I'm not actually looking to do this at all. I think you can just develop, and that's what the computer's saying. You could probably take this. I don't know how good taking is. Apparently slightly better for white, and I think that's just a development thing, especially when the bishop's not open. Makes sense. Anyway, they play e6, looking to undermine my central pawn structure. We throw in the check, which is the best move, hoping to sort of block off the queen so we can go ahead and take. Apparently takes e6 is actually the best move, which we just made up on the spot. But not e takes f7 check, which is wild. So sacking the piece is fine, apparently. It's not a brilliancy. Queen h5 is apparently the move here, which is blows my mind. Blows my mind. Queen f6 makes a lot of sense. Both defending the f7 pawn and attacking the e6 pawn. Then you do check. Apparently queen takes is bad. Oh, because you get this pawn. You get this pawn back with compensation. So you take back with the king, which is no. You do king d7. You can't take back with the king because the queen's still covering. King d7 is wild. At which point you take, promote, rook takes. Then are you free to take a h7? No. Bishop e3. And what's the material? You're even on material. Wow. Because you've taken the knight with the pawn. Wow. Wow. That's wild. Oh my gosh. King takes f7 is what happened, which is best. We throw in the check, and we take the e5 pawn, which was the whole idea. Well, the whole idea was to try win this bishop back, but I guess this works. And this is completely winning for black. But they played queen a5. Now, queen a5 is a very understandable move. It's probably something I would have played. Apparently, queen d7 is the best move, which is wild. And you're securing the bishop. I can't take this. I can take this, maybe? What happens if I take? That's completely winning, apparently. Queen g4. Oh, because of the mating threat. Ooh, actually, yeah. c4, yeah. Only way to block it immediately. Bishop b takes c, yeah. Knight takes c, covers the square. Bishop g7. Apparently, you just take the bishop. If you try save the queen, queen takes g2. Yeah, that looks terrifying because you can't go rook f1 because queen just takes, supported by the bishop. Anyway, queen a5 goes back to equality apparently. Queen takes h8 is apparently a miss again, and a blunder, I guess you could call it, because of bishop g7 takes. Now, I thought this was good. Why can't you take the queen in this situation? Oh, because c1 not takes. So you've got to throw in the knight, at which point you're no longer attacking the queen. Makes a lot of sense. The best move was indeed to go bishop b2 and stop the bishop g7 attack. Oh, and then they still can't. So before you take the rook, you go bishop b2. They can't save the rook still because either way you would just take it with the queen. This bishop's still pinned, potentially with an a4, pinning the bishop to the queen. Although then a6, and you can't take because... No, but the bishop's covering your rook now. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Anyway, b3 here, and you no longer have bishop to d2, so you block with the knight. They take, and you throw in this d5 check, and now your king's getting a bit cut off. It only has 2 squares. Then you throw in an a4, and rook d8. Rook d8 is a very weird move. Why can't... I guess your bishop's pinned to your queen, so you can't really save it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, what happened though? Bishop f7, g7, completely the right idea. Queen takes h7, and then the knight was apparently the wrong idea. going after the queen. It's not trapped though. We have plenty of escape squares. By plenty, I mean 2. And apparently the move was to throw in this check, which we've seen doesn't particularly work out well. Does not particularly work out well. Because the pawn promotion threat. Yeah, and you've got to block with the knight. Makes sense. Queen h4 apparently is the wrong move. You're not meant to cover this. You're meant to go queen h3. I wonder what the difference is. Queen h4, queen h3, follow up, knight there. You throw in the check, apparently. Oh, and you can't take this knight because of rook to e8. Makes sense. Although that could potentially be an evenish trade. No, not exactly. Not exactly. Okay, makes sense. Oh, they play bishop to f6. Wow. What? And you can't take the knight still, and the knight's covering the bishop. Wow, 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 wow. a4, hitting the bishop. They throw in this discovered check. You take the bishop, and you sacrifice your queen and your rook. And this is apparently, like, slightly better. It's 1.6 for black, minus 1.6. And white's still up material. Why couldn't they take the queen? Oh, they can't take the queen because your queen's still attacked. Oh, wow. So they take that. And then you save your queen. Okay. Yeah. So, as soon as you take the bishop, the black queen is attacked by the rook. So, any discovered check would just be a trade that benefits white. Makes sense. Instead, they go rook to e8, which makes sense. Adding more pressure onto the e-pawn. We decide to save it with f3, which is the best move. And apparently this is still winning for black. It's minus 2.4. And then bishop takes rook. Yeah. Bishop d3, and they just hang their queen. Which is disappointing. To be honest, it's disappointing. I feel for my opponent. That's a very rough one. What was I thinking here? What was I thinking? I don't know. I thought this was okay for white here. You know, you get in potentially f7. Not immediately because of the bishop. But I don't really know what black's sort of plan is. Apparently you go bishop to f6. Bishop to f6. Now I was thinking maybe some queen h7 ideas, which is apparently his next best move. Bishop g7, bh6, yeah, adding more pressure on. b3 check, c3 now you can play. Rook g8 covers the bishop again. Bishop takes g7, rook takes g7, queen h4. And what's it like here? So, white's up a pawn. White's up a pawn. You're never castling though, that's the annoying thing. And you can't even get your rook to f1 to check because of the bishop. So even though white's up a pawn was worth of material here, especially with this passed b pawn, it's better for black by a significant amount. It's minus 1.5. Wow, wow, wow. So what's the main line here? After the yes. What was it? Bishop f6. Yeah, was the main line. Queen f4, apparently. I'm not sure what that's doing. Not really sure, to be honest. You play c4. The queen's coming to a4. I'm not particularly sure what either side's plan is, to be honest. This is a crazy, crazy one. And it's saying it's about equal. It's minus 1. It just changed its devaluation there. So it was about 0.7. Now it's minus 1. So, you know, it's playable. It's playable. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. That was a stupid game from both players, I think, especially me, for doing stupid things. Let's have a look at a real game from a real good player. Who do we have here? Who do we have here? A win for white, I hope. So, who have we got here? Thomas Z. Solka versus Antonio Suera. We have the d6. They go for the a3. Now, a3 is not a move I particularly like. I know it's heavy in the theory in this line. I don't quite understand it. Like, you're hitting against a wall, but I guess it's allowing your knight to get to c3. I guess that's the whole idea. They bring their other knight out. And then this bishop d3 line, I've seen a few times before in the declined variations, where you play like a d6 straight off the bat. And I'm guessing, I don't really know what it's for, to be honest. Maybe just hitting the king when it's castled, you play like an e5. I'm not sure. They go ahead with e5, d5, and then you've got the structure you sort of want. You've got this really strong diagonal against the king, especially if you can take now, which is just a free pawn, I guess. You get your pawn back with a really good position. You get your knight in the game. You hit this backwards pawn. Not that it's a backwards pawn. It's the back of the pawn chain, I guess. You get the bishop check. You can castle. It's just a nice game. You know, you've got an ordinary game on your hands. And I think that's the way to sort of play against gambits, really, is to give back the material at the right time. Oh, that's deadly, that check. Oh, yeah, I don't fancy that. They give up the rook. They trade rooks here, which is insane. Wow. Apparently that works. They both decide to save the piece. Oh, and then you just get a fork on the queen, which is nasty. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying, I think that's the best way to play against gambits. If you're unsure of what you're doing, give back the material in the safest way possible and try get a position you're familiar with. Try get a pawn structure you're familiar with. It's going to be hard. That's the skill. You know, that's why gambits work, is because they're hard to play against. That's why computers think gambits are bad, because the computers know how to play against them. I guess. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed that. I know the game wasn't particularly long, but hopefully it was exciting. Hopefully it was enjoyable. Hopefully you appreciated the analysis, because there was some crazy cool lines in there. Pretty cool lines. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.